Hey everybody, welcome to the second episode of Framefest. I am here with...
Martin Roselli.
And I am the Mickle Pickle. So, last podcast was interesting. It was relatively laid back in the sense that we kind of just let it all out, really. I confess that Crash Bandicoot wasn't my favourite game, which was big.
Quite a big deal indeed, yeah.
It was a shocker.
Definitely.
And you also mentioned a lot about Dark Souls and how apparently it's not as bad as I put it. I have actually played it, I'm not going to lie. In the time we were gone, I started the third game. Oof. Oh.
I should probably take this opportunity to say two things. The first one is that Dark Souls 3 is very much quote-unquote a direct sequel to Dark Souls 1. So unless you're only interested in the mechanical part, you should play one first. I also argue too, but that's not 100% necessary. It's just recommended. And the other thing is that if you haven't figured it out by now, especially the lizards, because you know a little bit, you're gonna find out that I can't possibly shut up about Dark Souls. And Michael, when you become one of us.
It's a big claim.
One of us. I am afraid to tell you that you're going to start comparing everything to Dark Souls. That's kind of like the curse. It's like the undead curse.
That was a reference, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course it was. What did you expect?
Anyway, in terms of the topics today, E3.
Oh, yeah. So it's right around the corner, isn't it? Mm-hmm. This is quite an opportune time to start recording.
I must admit, I have recently seen the newest Tomb Raider trailer.
Ooh.
Blew me out of the water.
I haven't seen it yet.
Exceptional, man.
Did you play the first two?
Oh, yeah. And both games...
Naturally, we're obviously talking about the remakes. We know there's Tomb Raiders before that.
There's like 14 Tomb Raiders, I think.
Yeah.
But no, the two games prior to this one have been exceptional. Personally, I preferred the first Tomb Raider to its sequel, solely because the sequel did feel a bit like a cut and paste with a different story. They didn't really amp or do anything.
Yeah.
They didn't really amp or do anything crazy. It kind of felt like a rehash, but either way, it's the sort of game you'll pick up, can't put down.
I haven't played them, but I watch a lot of streams, YouTube and stuff. And the one I'm most familiar with is the first one. I think I owned them. I think I own it. I gotta check my Steam because I don't remember if I own it or I had it lent to me with a friend's collection.
Right.
Because you can do it and stuff. But the thing that I gotta say is that I feel like it's a very me take on the Uncharted formula.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because I played Uncharted and it's not that I don't like it, but it's a little bit on rails for me, if that makes sense. Could
you explain that?
Well, because on Uncharted, you usually go... I didn't play that much. I played half the first game, something like that, or a little bit more than half. It's a little bit... so you know how you go from, this section of combat in this area, and then you have to climb until you find this spot and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's not always like that, but I feel like a lot of that is very linear. And not just linear in a progression manner, because I want to make a very big difference. I always try to make a big distinction between, say, for example, the way Final Fantasy can be linear, in the sense that older Final Fantasy, in the sense that you have a gigantic map, but there's places that you have to go.
Yeah.
Against straight up linear, against Final Fantasy 13 linear, which is just a hallway. You can't go anywhere else. To me, even if you have to do things in a certain order, just the ability to explore, even if that exploration doesn't provide you with other routes, it's still good enough, especially if there's optional things or prices or stuff like that for you.
And I mean, Tomb Raider does just that. Though in terms of where you go, where the story takes you, it's a relatively linear path. You kind of got objective A, meet objective B, and usually it's just, there's not too much to do.
Yeah, but there's exploration.
Exactly.
There is some stuff.
Outside of the story's linear path, there's a pretty big world. It's not as huge as FF15's as example. Don't get me started how big that world is. Or Skyrim. Or, the games.
Yeah.
But it does have some flexibility. when you find a cavern and you're expected to raid the tombs, like it feels really good. Even if it's not part of the story, it feels very good. Which is something I think I don't think we've seen many games like that today. Honestly, FF13 was a good example. Like you only really got to jump into an open world, I think 10 chapters in, which is I would say maybe 13 or 14 hours of gameplay.
In 15?
Yeah, in 15. Not 15, 13.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I don't like 13.
Mm-hmm.
Even that, it's funny because this thing you say about... One second. This thing you say about how it's like you can only get to an open world after like pretty much 80% of the game. They also do something very similar in Final Fantasy X, and I love 10 to death. But I hate... as much as I love 10, I hate 13.
Because you're talking about when you obtain the airship, and that's when you get flexibility of going else. Oh, no.
Yeah, and you also unlock...
the big grassland, right? That huge...
That too. You got that too. But the point is that the grassland gives you optional new areas.
Yeah,
and the ship gives you access to previous... like new sections of previous areas because you can go back with new things.
Yeah.
And also new optional areas. But to me, exploration doesn't have to be limited to new like extra areas. It can be things within the areas. And I feel like the areas in Final Fantasy X have a lot of not necessarily exploration, but like branching things or secrets or like there is enough go out of the way to find stuff along the way. While in 13, I feel like 90% of the time it's literally a hallway, which at the same time fights the decision of having the enemies on the map.
Yeah, no, that's
because
true.
What's the point if you still have to fight the exact same number? Like, I get it if you could like get, and this is a criticism that I've heard people say that I don't agree. If you get to the boss and then you are under leveled because you didn't fight enough enemies, to me that's good enough because it's a way for you to like have a harder or easier time with it.
Yeah.
But if you have to fight those enemies no matter what, not that you have to fight them because you need to fight them,
but because you're forced
to move forward.
Yeah.
What's the point on like having any sort of agency or having them on the map? Just make me fight them.
Yeah. You really make a cutscene the whole time.
To me, Final Fantasy 13 is like Mortal Kombat, essentially.
Okay, yeah, like stage after stage.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't really see much of the exploration that you mentioned in 13, but I heard about that. And
even though, like, I mean, yeah, I mentioned the idea of the whole. I've got the name of the area you go to.
I'm super bad with area names.
But it's like even then, it's not huge. It's big, but it's not huge. I think FF15 was a game that did try to go big and beyond by having the huge world map and, you know, being immersed in huge battles with monsters you've never seen before. But I do have to say that it did also fall flat in the aspect that side missions feel like no effort's put in. Everything kind of feels like, okay,
they're just there to be there.
Yeah. You know, you're not excited to go out of your way and fight this huge dinosaur or whatever.
I have the same issue with the new Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Oh, really?
But those are like a little bit better. Like, there are some missions that are endearing or enjoyable. Like, it's more about the fact that because I feel like Monolith, the developers, the thing that they do is they always bite more than they can chew.
Yep.
So, for example, in the previous Xenoblade Chronicles X, there was these very famous issues that the character faces are very, very poorly animated, which the game is a little bit of, it's sort of like like a single player MMO. So that's like, it's logical that they will give that up. But there's so many cutscenes where you see the character faces and like the script calls for more emotions.
Yeah.
That it doesn't quite work. And I feel like the problem in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is that they try to make this great, expansive, massive, amazing world. Not necessarily open world, but there's a lot of places you can do and stuff and things to see that you end up that like there's a couple compromises that have to be made. For example, items look. You know how when you play Pokemon, the items are all Pokeballs.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's understandable, but I think that there are certain specific areas where the game suffers for it.
Yeah, no, that's it. Like, I mean, sometimes it can feel like a lazy job almost, you know?
I don't want to use the word lazy because of how it is, but like how difficult game development is. But yeah, it does give you that feeling.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. In regards to, back on talking to E3.
Yeah.
Any
expectations? We will digress a lot.
Any expectations on your behalf, or overall gist? How do you feel?
So many. So I would have to divide them in two. The first one would be Nintendo, and the second would be non-Nintendo.
Sure.
And they cross over a little bit because I would like to see like anyone who owns a Switch. My question is always, "Wow, that's a really good game, but is it coming to Switch?"
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's like the question.
Yeah.
And we always wanted like day and date releases with the other consoles. But like, there's also a lot to be excited about. The new Smash.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of games that could be announced. We could see the new Pokemon. I don't think we will, but it's not impossible.
It's interesting you mentioned that because I think the YouTuber I watch called VersaFly, he's like a Pokemon entrepreneur almost. The thing about him is he recently found a leak. They reckon it does actually seem legit though, because it was like Nintendo who
put it. For Nintendo or for Pokemon?
Well, it was Nintendo themselves. But in there, they mentioned like the Pokemon for the...
I'm going to take this opportunity to let you know that I actually take pride in being able to basically call rumors.
Okay.
Like, I feel like I'm fairly... I wouldn't even say very accurate with it, so let me know because I haven't heard this. Maybe I have, but I don't know what we're talking about. Fine. But go ahead.
No, I mean, like, by all means, it could just be speculation. But, like, from what I saw, it did seem pretty legit. And VersaFly isn't the sort of YouTuber who's like, I saw this on an article by the Daily Telegraph, or, like, you know, if some random clickbait, he can call clickbait.
Yeah.
So when he showed this to us, it was interesting because it mentioned Pokemon to the Switch. And the idea was...
For E3?
Yeah. Also, tailing it was Spyro's remastered trilogy coming to Switch, as well as Crash Insane trilogy. But anyway, back on topic. In regards to Pokemon, it mentioned that it was a reversion to the first series, so Johto, but they believe that it's purely Johto, using the graphics of...
Kanto.
Kanto, not Johto. Kanto, you're absolutely right. I'm a Kanto kid. I should have remembered that.
Okay, so I've heard about this rumor because the guys at Nintendo Prime covered it.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say that my bet, all my money is that is 100% Paul Walkie.
Okay.
And here's why. First of all, it's mostly the Pokemon thing. I think the Insane Trilogy makes sense. I think the Spyro one is like the kind of thing that rumors usually say because it just makes sense. If that makes it's not too far of a stretch.
Okay.
I don't know if it's gonna happen. I would even say it's not. Like, my guess is it's not, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is.
Mm-hmm.
But the Pokemon thing, there's so much stuff. Like, Pokemon rumors are like, they're like fruit.
Okay.
When you go to the supermarket and there's a pile of it, and you can easily tell which ones are bad. Because here's the thing. Never has a Pokemon game been released on E3. Or shown even.
Is that right? I actually didn't know that.
I would encourage you or the listeners to check this. And they're probably like calling bullshit on everything I'm saying because the E3 is probably already out by the time this comes out. Well, I actually don't think that it's quite a while off yet, but and also it's very unlikely that they will show Pokemon on a main showcase. They may show it in the Treehouse event they do after. You know what I mean? Because Nintendo does that. They do a presentation like everyone else, and then they have a Treehouse event where sometimes they show new games, like the last Metroid, which they just straight up showed it, like straight up announced it there like nothing, and the internet blew up like 5 minutes later and nobody knew what they were talking about. But that, and also Pokemon, like a lot of people have been wanting a Pokemon reboot now that it's coming to Switch, because there's a lot of people, and the people that want this is mostly people that want to get back into Pokemon.
Yeah, nice.
And I don't want to use the term Gen 1ers. Which is the term?
Just use cancer kids. Jesus.
Come on, dude.
Kanto kids is what I meant to say.
Yeah, I just mean people, like, if you're a Gen 1er, that's cool.
Yeah, by all means.
My real problem is not with people that only like Gen 1. My real people is the same as always. It's with people that say Gen 1. Like, I have a friend that once came to me and said, the only Pokemon are the first one, the original 151. And I almost punched him into the face.
Oh, jeez.
Because that's the relationship we have. Like, we are pretty fancy. So
if you cut Totodile out of the equation, you're wrong.
That's the thing. There's so much. And what they do, quote unquote, is remakes. So I do think they could go back to Kanto and make either a remake of the original games or like a new game in the same region, completely unrelated, which would be super cool, by the way. But I don't think they would take away any of the existing Pokemon.
Oh, absolutely not.
The chances are, and people who have played are current to Pokemon will probably be tired of listening to me talk and say obvious things. But chances are that if they do that, you would have the first 151 Pokemon on the region.
Yeah.
And that will be all you get. Also, and their evolutions and stuff you can probably unlock somehow until you beat the Elite Four, and then you unlock every Pokemon ever.
Yeah,
that's the way they usually do it.
That's interesting because I would say like if let's say they were to open up the world, I figured like with the power that is the Switch now, the compatibility of the Switch, there is so much room for possibility. Like we saw in Soul Silver and Heart Gold on the DS, you had not only your Johto region, but you also could transverse into Kanto with gym leaders of like higher level and whatnot, right? To me, I think it'd be shocking if like they weren't to include that, seeing as they could pull it off in a DS game but not in a Switch game. To me, that would be a cash grab, if anything. That sounds like...
You should know that they are famous for one-offing features, if that makes sense. Like making features that only show an appearance once and then never again.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that has to do with trying to solve the biggest problem with Pokemon games, which I think it's gameplay variety. I feel like a lot of people say they are running out of ideas or I can't get into Pokemon, I don't know why. Stuff like that, basically. And I think that's like the kind of thing that comes up a lot when it comes to game testing. Because when you're doing game testing, if anyone doesn't know here, when you're testing a game to see what you need to make as a designer, what you should do is not listen to what the testers say. Instead, ask why they are saying it.
Right.
So, for example, if a tester comes and tell you, okay, look, I don't like this section because you have to grind too much.
Mm-hmm.
You don't make the section less grindy. You try to figure out why does he feel that way. Maybe the problem is not that there's too much grind. Maybe the problem is that the grind is boring.
Yeah.
Maybe the problem is that the combat needs to be more interesting.
Or,
Or maybe the problem is that the next boss is too difficult.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, it comes to that. I feel like when people say, because I digressed a little bit, I feel like when people say they are running out of ideas or they like it's the same over and over, or basically most complaints when it comes to people that have fallen off Pokemon.
Right.
The real issues are other issues that the game have that are not so apparent. And I feel like one of them is that the game is mostly only battling.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely.
No, let me correct that because it's not right. You got a lot of stuff that you can do in the game. Like you can even pat them and feed them. But from point A to point B, the main narrative of the game, the main sequence of event that takes you from starting to winning the game, is entirely predicated on battle.
Okay, yeah, sure. When you put it that way, it makes more sense. Because I was thinking in my head like, well, yeah, sure, you can pet them, but like, is there a reason for it? Not really.
And I feel like that's also why a lot of people are asking for an open world Pokemon. Also because of the fact that apparently everything has to be an open world now. And I don't have anything against open world games, but we should probably be careful what we ask for, because there's a game like Batman who's actually end up suffering for it.
What?
The last Batman.
Oh, I give him the whole Batman franchise.
No, come on.
I was like, you're joking me, right?
No, they're not even open world. The first one isn't.
Oh, yeah, the first one isn't, but like, I was thinking Arkham City, right? Gorgeous. The amount of flexibility.
I haven't played City. I've heard good things.
It's amazing.
But I want to clarify. I was talking exclusively about Arkham Knight. Is it?
The newest is Arkham Knight.
The third one, Arkham Knight. I was talking exclusively about Arkham Knight.
Okay, sure.
For the record. And I'm not even saying that game is bad, even though I've heard so. I'm just saying that I feel from what I gather that one of its biggest flaw is that it's made to be open world when the franchise never really benefited that much from it. I mean, Arkham City maybe a little bit, but I feel like the Metroidvania style of the first one was much better.
Okay.
Though I may be biased because I like Metroidvania.
So I brought up here a screenshot from this apparent leak, right? The one that everyone's been reviewing like mad. One that talks of the whole Spyro's trilogy and the Crash Amiibo thing all coming to E3. But what caught my eye was this year. So this is the Pokemon thing I was talking about, right? Apparently it says, Pokemon for Switch is revealed. It's a new take on Red and Blue and features graphics that are midway between Sun and Moon and Pokken. So from memory, Pokken's the 2D... not 2D,
the fighting game. Which, I'll be honest with you, is one of the many, many games that I want, but I don't get because of what I told you, that I don't... it's hard for me to engage on a regular basis with games that don't have a narrative or a beginning, a middle, and an end. Unless I have a friend that it's also playing it and it's hyping me. That, I want to get Splatoon super bad, but I feel like I'm going to play it 5 hours and then forget it exists.
Yeah, it's only because it's a multiplayer game. You know, you need to be surrounded by people. Yeah, it's so much better.
It's because I'm not very good with repetitive game loops unless I have someone to talk with about it.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, that's it. It's like me with Overwatch, man. Like, I'm not going to solo queue unless I'm crazy. You know, if I have friends that are on, it's so much better.
Yeah, I love Overwatch, but I don't play it because I never talk about it with anyone.
Yeah, exactly. I saw this and I just thought, this is exceptional. If these are legit, freaking a new Fire Emblem, that will...
The new Fire Emblem, I think it's very likely to be shown, at least like a trailer maybe.
Yeah, or a promotional video.
Yeah, 10% more than last time. I don't think we're going to see too much more. I think we may even not see it just because they may want to save it for when they actually have like a title and maybe even a release window.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's possible. I think, honestly, the Pokemon thing and the way some things are phrased is what makes me feel that this is all not true, basically. Like, a lot of this stuff is possible and maybe even likely.
Yeah.
I just don't think that this particular rumor is likely. And that's the thing with rumors. They usually mix believable things with hype things that don't make sense.
Okay.
So if you're a little bit skeptical, not too much because you can usually tell.
Yeah, sure.
Still, I think it's an interesting topic because a lot of this stuff is stuff that could happen and that I really like the idea of happening.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, hearing of this here made me very happy.
This rating?
Next is a Metroid Prime 4 gameplay trailer coming 2019. Now, again, we're not too sure if it's just speculation or if it's legitimate, but if this is actually an announcement, that is going to blow my mind. It's been so long since...
I don't think we're going to see gameplay. I'll be honest with you. I think we may see a trailer. I think it's very...
That's plenty to me. That's plenty. Just being able to, I guess, kind of like understand or be in touch with the idea that this will happen, knowing that we're planning it for 2019, it's going to happen. That's exciting to me. I'm going to revert back a little. Okay. We're off topic and I do apologize.
No, that's okay.
It's like when I was told, don't laugh at me, when Made in Abyss was getting its sequel. Okay, I know it won't be. I'm
not laughing at you. I'm just smiling at the memory.
The fact that, I thought you were laughing at the fact that I managed to relay that to literally everything.
No, dude, what did I just say about Dark Souls?
I guess that's true.
It's like Dark Souls.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting.
It's a skill, man. It's a blessing and a curse. The undead curse.
I was waiting for it.
There you have
I was pointing at you like you're going to say it, aren't you? you know, like just the sheer fact that like it's a confirmation is exciting. I mean, I know it won't be for ages, you know, and in this case, 2019, like I still have a long time to wait. But the fact that I know that it will exist in a future that may or may not be close is exciting. You know, the fact that the franchise isn't like, okay, we're done for now. You know, we'll see you in a century or two. You know?
I didn't really make you like think of you as a Metroid fan.
Really?
No, not at all. Because there's so few of us.
In regards to like you know, my youth, as I call it, because that's behind me now. Let's be honest. When I first
someone's an adult now.
when I got my Wii for the first time, the very first game I had was Other M, and loved it. Absolutely loved it.
You liked Other M?
I loved it. I thought it was so good.
Tell you what, you like Other M?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like Skyward Sword. We can finish doing the podcast now because no one's gonna ever listen to it again. Let's face it.
Dude, you never know. There might be that one guy or gal, I'm not going to discriminate, that one person who's like, yeah, Other M was alright, or Skyward Sword actually wasn't that bad.
I haven't gotten to Other M yet. I'm still playing the first one because I had an issue and I fell off and I haven't gotten back to it. I still don't have my Wii U hooked and stuff. But I do intend to finish the whole trilogy and Other M before. The other problem with Other M is it's hard to find.
Yeah, absolutely. Now it's a fossil.
Yeah, and I do plan to finish the 4 games before 4 comes out. And even if I don't, I want to at least finish the trilogy. But from what I gather, what I've seen, the gameplay that I've seen and stuff, the real problem with Other M is that the story, cinematic, traditional, heavy style doesn't, in a lot of people's mind, fit with Metroid. And I can see it. I don't know in what side I fall. I would have to play the game first to agree or disagree. And also that the writing is bad.
Yeah, okay, I was about to say there's definitely lackluster dialogue. So I'm like, in all honesty, as much as I adore the character Samus, wasn't huge on the voice actor for Other M. I gotta admit, I may have been a cringy freaking 14-year-old boy, but like listening to the very edgy dialogue that was supposed to be like, bam, hitting you in the heart. Like,
okay, hold on.
It could have.
If you're a 14-year-old and you think this game is too edgelord,
it's a big claim, right?
Like, yes, that's no joke. Changing the subject a little bit. Like, really, my only like closing the Nintendo topic a little bit.
Yeah.
My only fear is that they go the same way they went the last 2 E3s because it was successful, and they just go, we're just gonna go one game. And it's gonna be so big that it's gonna win, quote unquote, win E3. I don't subscribe to that too much, but you know, it's gonna be just Smash.
Yeah, no, please don't. Come on, give us some diversity.
I hope they don't, because no matter how much they show about Smash, we all know it's Smash.
Yeah,
we don't need a big reveal. We would like a big reveal, but it's not enough. To me, it's not enough to fill an E3.
Well, yeah.
And
what can they do with one game alone?
Exactly, you know? But I don't think that's a big deal because they will probably still have the Treehouse. We may have some things there. But outside of Nintendo, the thing I'm most excited about is I want to see something from Bethesda.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we'll see anything new because reasons, but it's been a while, so I would like to at least know they're working on a new game. I'm not saying Elder Scrolls or Fallout. I would like an Elder Scrolls 6 because I love Skyrim, but it got like I feel like it got old quicker for me than for most people.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like I think we've had this conversation beforehand. I only recently got introduced to the Elder Scrolls, right? Like, I started playing Skyrim 2 months ago. It's a good game. I think it's great. I think it's excellent.
The game is great.
I recently bought it in VR, and that's so good. I was honestly not expecting.
Michael, I hate your guts.
Listen. It's not like a Fallout 4 port where things feel exceptionally clunky. Like in VR,
no, that's not the problem.
Skyrim wasn't that bad. I'm not saying it's better in VR.
That's not the problem. The problem is you have VR.
Someone's jealous.
Keep going.
Someone's jealous.
No, I'm Dark Souls 2 Undead Green jealous.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah, like I only recently got into it. I thought it was okay, but I can totally see what you mean by like you fall off of it quicker. I know it's a huge thing in people's minds. Like every day people think about it at some point. It's like, yeah, mega hard dance. I don't think I could fall into that category. I think I totally relate to you where I'm like, okay, if the game was great, sure. But
and the thing is,
tuck it away.
Elder Scrolls and Fallout games are games meant to be played for many, many years, especially with mods. But the thing is, and I feel like I don't want to make this claim too much because I started with Skyrim, but I feel like a lot of veteran fans know this, in that Skyrim is probably not as diverse and replayable as the previous Elder Scrolls. And that's fine, because for those concessions you get other good things, but the game gets, like, I feel like it doesn't age as well, especially in a game where you have so many dungeons that look pretty same.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Which, for the record, I understand that's a reality of game development for such a big game. Like, the same happens with Breath of the Wild. But I feel like in Skyrim it started me a little bit. I played like 200 hours of that game.
Yeah, naturally. Like, big game.
Still, but that's pretty much the only reason I don't own it on Switch.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Well, that and the $60 tag price. That I don't want to play full price for Skyrim. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, absolutely not. In regards to stepping out of Nintendo and into just gaming in general for E3, now it's going to be I know if people are listening, I know they're going to be like, it's not going to happen. I like to think that it's possible.
Okay, hold on, because
I'm trying to hype this up. Hold on.
All right, but this lets me segue into something.
Okay.
I want us to speak now, not of what we expect.
What we want?
What are our wildest E3 dreams? Go ahead.
And that literally falls into what I was mentioning. Final Fantasy VII's remake. We know it's going to happen. We've seen a trailer for it, kind of. A little bit of gameplay, cinematics, gorgeous, beautiful. 10 out of 10. I cannot stress it enough. It got rid of the turn-based system. People are disappointed. I get it, because it's a traditional trope to FF7 that I thought was excellent. But at the same time, it's time to move to more contemporary age of gaming.
Interesting that you mentioned 7.
Now, the fact that the remake, the visuals look absolutely insane. I'm so excited for it, but there's been no dates, like, at all, right? We haven't had a trailer in God knows how long.
I would like to use 7 as this comment as a segue, and I will. So hold that thought.
Okay.
But
I'm nervous.
It's not good news.
I feel like it feels like we're having a really dirty conversation, and like the world can hear it. Like, I feel so eager right now.
Michael, what have you been doing?
Uni assignments. What else, Martin? I just killed
I'm not sure I believe that.
Really? No, you're right. I've been editing a Main Abyss animated video. I'm sure that is true and not what you want YouTube to believe. Anyways, if I had a super wild dream for E3, it would be probably have Solaire on Smash. I don't think it's super wild. It's just like my dream wish. Please give me Solaire in Smash. Please, I beg of you. Nintendo, I will suck your... That word, yeah, sure. Solaire in Smash, huh?
I would kill for that.
Actually, you know what? No, they have serious characters, like Ike as an example. I could totally see it.
Yeah. Also, the new Pokemon releasing these holidays would also be like dream stuff.
Baby, that would be excellent.
Elder Scrolls 6. And maybe Fallout 4 on Switch.
Okay.
I would really like that.
Yeah, sure. I can see Fallout on Switch. I can totally see that.
Yep. And regarding Final Fantasy VII...
well, hang on. Actually, sorry, we're going to take a step back again.
Go ahead.
To the wildest dreams thing.
Keep going.
Okay. It'd be so insane if Taito made a comeback, a company that is almost forsaken now. It's literally like a relic at this point. Creators of Bubble Bobble, if that's better. Have you heard of Bubble Bobble?
Bubble the game?
Bubble Bobble, yeah, the game. Or like the franchise, yeah.
Yeah, funny anecdote actually. I was in the last podcast episode of NPP, Nintendo Prime.
Yeah.
One of the games' dream lineup for E3 included Bubble Remake.
That was literally what I was going to say. If we could get a remake of the very, very, very first Bubble with 3D graphics, still keep the classic gameplay of like the 2D jumping up and down mini platforms.
What is going on with the world?
It would be so good though. Like Taito had this incredible product and they milked it without actually freaking touching the original cow. That's a weird thing to say. But like they kept characters, they kept the name. They did not keep the game though.
You haven't been listening to that podcast, have you?
I haven't listened to Nintendo Prime like ever. I don't listen to podcasts at all, which is why I'm doing this, because I want to get into this area.
This is like the Twilight Zone. I mean, you have to meet Eric.
Eric?
Yeah, he's the guy who dreamed that, basically.
Okay.
But, like, damn.
Yeah, small world, I guess. I would absolutely adore, like, just a classic game with amped up graphics. That's all I'm asking for. And Taito, it would pay off.
This is like finding a koala with 5 legs twice.
I mean, like, I could actually picture people being excited for it though, or considering it. Like, it was such a not revolutionary game.
I'll be honest with you. If it came out, I will definitely buy it.
Frick yeah!
But I would have never thought of it.
Yeah, no, it's excellent. I think it'd be amazing.
Regarding 7, Final Fantasy 7, I got bad news for you.
Oh.
So this is an old topic. A little bit. It's like, I think 2 weeks old. There's like some new stuff with some rumors now. Probably by the time this comes out, this is like a month or more old. But the game has been delayed, man. It got announced like 2 weeks ago that the studio that Square Enix was outsourcing stuff from.
Oh no.
Apparently everything they did is unusable and they had to trash everything. So everything that you've seen doesn't go. They have to start from scratch.
It's like literally them. Oh my god! It's like the
worst news in Final Fantasy history.
No, it's like I'm right at the edge of finishing a race, and then they just remove the line and paint it like on the other side of the planet.
You want to hear even more?
I feel violated.
You want to hear even more? There was a couple of rumors regarding on what happened with all this. I'm not gonna go into it because I don't have it with me right now. I think Dark Pixel Gaming, I think it was Dark Pixel Gaming did a very good coverage of it. So if you guys want to know more, just Google that. Dark Pixel Gaming. Yeah. Go through their channel or just add Final Fantasy 7 to the search. But the thing is, you should, and they've said this is not my words, but I agree with them. You should probably not expect the game for another 6 or 7 years. Maybe a little bit less, because at this point they probably are just going to release the game for PS5. They're probably just going to start now working for a PS5 version of the game.
I feel like
I'm sorry. It makes me really sad too, because I've never played 7, and believe me, I've tried. I really wanted the remake to like do it for me. But reality is that.
I feel like I've just been punched in the stomach like 7 times over.
But this allows me to segue into the second topic.
Reality sucks.
Because that's not the only bad news that I have. Although the other thing is mostly for me. So this is also about 2 weeks old. Like, it's a little bit earlier than, like, more recent than the other news, but still, it will be old news by the time you hear this. But Dark Souls for Switch has been delayed. Indefinitely until this quote-unquote summer, which for you and I is winter. They haven't said why. They've only said that they're trying to work their hardest to get a release date as soon as possible. And the most gut-wrenching part is that only the Switch version is delayed. And the game was announced for Switch.
That is a huge punch to the gullet.
The original announcement trailer was for Switch. And considering how the Switch has had this like delayed problem and ports problem, like that's just a kick in the nuts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think like the thing I want to talk about with all this is video game delays. Like, why do they happen? Why do they happen to us? Because let's face it, game developers don't want to delay the games.
Oh yeah, by all means, they can make money as quickly as they can. They want to, but I mean, I can accept it from a point where, okay, now this may sound exceptionally cliche, but it also may sound passive aggressive. But I mean, yeah, naturally, Final Fantasy, because I just think it's such an interesting series to talk about. I know the game was delayed, God knows how many times. It's like ridiculous amounts of times. And I mean, yes, it was frustrating because, like, from a consumer's point of view, like, it's just, they just can't program, or like, it's just, it's frustrating, all right? But thinking it from the sort of foundation that Square Enix has built, they can't release garbage. Every time they make a game, they have to try to almost one-up themselves, right? I totally understand.
Especially because it's their flagship. Like, they can be more experimental with things like Octopath Traveler, or I don't know if they developed it, they produced it, or neither, and they just bought the studio. But Bravely Default, like, basically, they can experiment with the genre.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But when it comes to Final Fantasy, the number of Final Fantasies, those are their flagship. They can't allow the, and that's why they have become so more, what I call, mainstream friendly, like a little bit more guided, a little bit more linear, a little bit more graphics focused, stuff like that. It's because it's their flagship.
Yeah, absolutely. Like in regards to like the mini spin-offs, I guess you could say, like not really any mobile Final Fantasy game has like paid off, right? It's always the
mobile.
There's like mobile.
Mobile.
Mobile. Yeah.
Okay.
But like, it's in the foundation of the 15, Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., that they've created this huge holy grail almost, right? If they have to delay Final Fantasy 7, I hope it's for the same reason they delayed FF15. Like, they wanted to live up to the name they have.
Quoting Miyamoto. Hold on, I want to get this right.
Okay, yeah. You can cut the awkward moments.
Yeah. A delayed game will eventually be good, but a rushed game will be terrible forever.
Yeah, that's it.
Obviously, that's a little bit simplistic. Just because a game is delayed doesn't mean it's going to be better, and nowadays it doesn't apply as much because there's such a thing as patches. Like, you can just release a day one patch if you realize that there was a bug or something before release and you didn't have time to make a new shipment.
Yeah.
But I kind of understand it. Like, sometimes you gotta imagine how it feels to be Square Enix and realize that the last 2 years of development and money have to be completely cut off.
Yeah,
completely killed. And I gotta recognize it. Like, I gotta give it to them. They do make an effort. If you remember what happened with Final Fantasy 14.
In the online.
Yeah, and there's like this amazing documentary. The name escapes me now. But basically what they had to do is, the original MMO was very bad.
Right.
And they hired like someone to like overview what to do with it. And what they did is they were simultaneously releasing updates for the game to make it more tolerable and better, and working for to make a new game from the ground up, like from zero, from scratch. They remade the entire game.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And they even went as far as to make it an in-game thing. They basically made the moon crash down and destroy the world.
Frick, yeah.
Like, it was a huge event, and something that is like, I'm glad that it's documented because it's a very important part of video game history, if you ask me, at least.
Yeah.
But
it honestly, it feels like they genuinely care about what they've created, like, in regards to the quote you made earlier, I mean, sure, a rush game may not be so terrible, but a game that like is taken care of and nurtured to a point where people go, yeah, okay, it's ready. It's hard to put into words. It's like, okay, picture a game as almost like a small child, right? Like, you, as a parent, you foster, you care for it, it grows up, becomes its own. It does its own thing, right? I feel like Final Fantasy is similar in the sense that the games to the company almost feel like their children, and they want to naturally nurture it until it's ready and it's mature and it's like off into the world. It's good to go, right? I think they did that with FF15. I think they absolutely did that. It's not the perfect game, not the greatest game, but it is a mature game. And by that I mean,
I want to say that I feel with FF15 that it's hard to explain because I don't feel like the game didn't get its moment in the sunlight. I feel like the game got its proper praise.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I feel like it went a little bit unnoticed just because it didn't blow anyone's mind. But the fact that the game exists and it doesn't fall into the pitfalls of the more recent previous games, namely 13, I think that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, even if the game is not the best game it could possibly be, if it's good, that's like saying a lot because it's a gigantic game.
Yeah, massive.
And it's also like, again, a very, very big and important franchise. But also, like, again, I do understand why the delays and stuff, going back to the topic, but it is also a bummer. Like, sure, absolutely. I empathize with the developers, but I want to play Dark Souls, man. I want to play Final Fantasy 7. And I'm sure everyone listening does too.
Yeah. No, I mean, the same thing goes for, like, almost anything, you know? I can't believe I'm doing this plug again.
Actually, plugging.
It's not really a plug, but it's more drawing onto an anime sense. Like, it's the same thing goes for television series or even reading manga, right? Like, you're forced to wait a week, right? Manga more a month, but you're forced to wait. And yeah, it hurts and it sucks because you want to know, you know, you want to see, you want to experience. And naturally, like, when games are delayed, you lose that. And it is frustrating. Like, if someone gives you a date, if someone, let's say you're doing an assignment and someone's like, okay, on this day we'll meet up. And then they just, like, they go, oh, well, like a day before, sorry, I can't, I'm busy. You know, it does feel
funny that you would say that.
Yeah, today is not the actual day of the proper podcast. There were delays. I apologized. Okay,
it's okay. I understand, and I'm making a very sarcastic face while I say that.
I have to say you're smiling and you're not blinking.
Yeah, I'm interested how you compare it to anime because our last topic. Because if you think that we have not talked about enough about anime today, there's a reason. It's because the last topic is about it.
Oh, and this is a big topic.
But basically, the idea would be, just like we just talked about our dreams and expectations for E3, what are basically our highlights of this current anime season? What are we watching and stuff?
Okay, this is an area that I can talk a lot about, solely because some of the anime that I've seen so far has showed so much promise. Some haven't. As of my favorites as of right now, Megalobox is number one. Disregarding any, like, before people start screaming, disregarding any sequel adaptations, Megalobox as an individual series.
Disregarding any?
Any, yeah.
Any?
Like any sequels or adaptations to, like, mainstream or previous animes. So,
but if you disregard adaptations, you have to disregard a lot of stuff.
I'll talk about the adaptations, but it's more like,
in fact, Megalobox is an adaptation.
I mean, to a manga, yeah. I mean, in terms of like an anime getting like a second season or so on and so forth. I mean, as an individual anime that just started, Megalobox is my highlight so far. I have to admit, I think the fact that every fight is really well choreographed. It seems realistic despite them fighting with like mechanical.
Yeah, they make a lot of effort to make it very grounded and.
Yeah. I mean, like in the first episode, as an example, like you have your main character Joe, who is fighting in an underground ring just because, and giving up fights as well, having to lose them just to make money because he has.
And he's so gritty.
Yeah, but it's so good though. Like, and then when you see him, you know, progress as a character, and you realize, like, you know, he's got all odds stacked against him. You know, he is unarmed Joe, armless Joe. I forgot the name of.
Gearless Joe.
Gearless Joe. That's it. Oh, I love the ring for that. Like, it's so cool because he has to stick to elements he's been brought up into. You know, fighting in the underground as a said stray dog against an entire corporation. He has to fight like in the oh my gosh, the Megalonia. You're good at this. You're really good at this.
It's because the phonetics are closer to my field of expertise.
Fair enough. But yeah, like I just think it's been so good so far. It's one anime that I think has a reason to look rusty and old. Like I heard that.
Yeah. You know what they did with
They re-rendered, right?
Yeah, they downscale. So if you don't know, the resolution, what it is the how many pixels of height the video has, and that's basically what defines how good it looks, quote unquote. Like not really, but it's basically what people will talk about when they say HD and stuff like that. So what they did is they made the anime, then they downscale it to I think 480, which is basically pre-HD. It's like the resolution of the 90s.
Yeah.
And then they re-upscale it back.
Stretch it up to the...
So that it looks like a 90s or earlier anime.
And it looks so good.
It looks amazing.
It's incredibly crispy and... I love it. I love it so much.
It's like crispy and detailed the way a modern anime is, but it feels like a 50s, 60s, 70s. Well, not 50s, 60s, but you know what I mean.
It does just that too, because like, I mean... Don't get me started on the bloody soundtrack. It's so beautiful, but it's like
it's mega, and this Megalobox anime is so good, especially when compared to shit like the newest 009 Cyborg 009 anime.
Oh, I haven't watched that.
The one on Netflix. Like Cyborg 009 is fantastic. I love it, and it's not that the new anime is garbage. I'm exaggerating a little bit here. It's just not very good. Like, it has some issues. It's one of the animes that prove that anime companies are not really very experienced in CGI.
Oh, yeah, no, don't get me.
No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, don't worry. But as someone who is very much into animation for... You know, because I can't really technically call myself an animator.
You're on your way, though. You're on your way, that's for sure.
I'm getting there. The character animation is very unexperienced. It's a little bit sloppy, not in the sense that it's dumb, but they fall into traps that are common to 2D anime, but don't have to be there in 3D.
Right.
For example, having characters just stand still. And just move their mouth.
Yeah,
It's so easy to add a little bit of movement in 3D, and it's also something that you should do.
Yeah.
Also, the plot is not great. It's okay. It's not bad. It's okay. It's just okay.
Yeah. Yep.
But you know, it's nice to see a modern 009 Cyborg 009.
Just
anime.
to kind of show that, you know, that the series isn't forgotten or dead. You know.
Yeah. It's nice to see it every now and
then. Yeah.
But the thing with Megalobox, going back to it, is like. It's so good, and the writing is good. The way the edit. I didn't even know it was an Ashitano Joe anime.
Oh, for real?
I didn't until I heard a lot of recommendations, and when I started watching it, I saw the Ashitano Joe 50-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Things.
See, it was celebrated on Crunchyroll, and that's why I figured that out. That's amazing, though, that you didn't know.
No, I didn't know it until I saw the basically, they put it at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
I think in some level I knew it. Does that make sense?
Just because the way the story is told and how
it makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's so great.
Yeah, man.
And like you said, it feels so realistic, grounded, and gritty, despite it being technically a sci-fi thing.
Sci-fi sport, yeah.
It's
excellent.
It has so many, but it's so rocky.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the music and the way the set pieces are composed and stuff like that, it's so rocky.
Yeah, they have freaking training montages that are reminiscent of...
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, they do. They even have the montages. Wow. But even then, like, the show is great on its own legs. And even the writing is amazing. Like, one thing they don't ever single mention... Like, you hear at the beginning this woman that is like the leader of the company that is holding the Megalonia. She's basically allied with the favorite to win Megalonia, which is the best fighter in the world. Sorry. I'm going to interrupt myself to explain to the viewers that don't know what Megalobox is about.
I really should get into it. And so, here's why.
Megalobox is about this guy with like a gigantic forehead, I should mention, called Joe. Who, because him and his coach are basically forced by their underground boxing low-end lives and their dealings with the mob to get a certain amount of money they need, quote unquote. And because Joe really has a grudge against this best fighter in the world and also wants to fight into proper matches because they've been basically fighting into arranged underground matches. They end up trying to find a way to get into this gigantic tournament called Michellonia, so that they can like win. Essentially, it would be like a World Cup, and get out of the situation and fulfill Joe's expectations. And Joe is like this very. He's kind of like the protagonist from the third JoJo, in the sense that he's like this cool guy who's badass and never gets and like he's basically kind of edgy a little bit. But it does it well because it has really good flaws. Like, it makes you feel really human.
Sorry, that is actually such a good example of his personality.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant one.
It's because it's an archetype. And it's usually an archetype that doesn't work, but in those shows works. In JoJo works because the rest of the characters are much more human and he's kind of a joke in a sense.
Yes, I mean, like, it's a good way to break up the JoJo generation.
Yeah, he's more of a parody.
Yeah.
He's a deconstruction.
Complete opposite.
And Joe works because he has flaws that makes him very human. Like, he doesn't always come out on top. He doesn't always have everything solved. Even when he wins, there's moments where it's not like they're making you think, oh, he may lose, but rather it's like he clearly is struggling.
Yeah, he's in a situation that's not like incredibly easy to grasp. Or
exactly.
You can't really see the end resolution.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't always have this, I solved this before it started kind of cool guy. He's not...
Kirito.
Thank you. I was going to say that. But anyways, what I was going to say is that the woman that organizes the Michellonia tournament is the leader of a company that produces these prosthetics, because the thing that I didn't mention is they box with gear over their arms that makes them faster and stronger.
So cool.
And the company that the woman represents is making a new futuristic set of... And the amazing thing is they never expose all this to you. They never do exposure to tell you this. You can just infer it from the things the character do and say. But apparently this woman, clearly, from the things she tells to the guy that is the favorite for the tournament, you can tell that she's producing this like kind of cybernetic implants kind of gear, which the guy has, the favorite.
Yeah.
And they tell stuff like, well, we're betting a lot in this. You have to win this. This is why Michellonia even exists and stuff like that. We want to take the world into the future. And you can tell stuff like that. Yeah. You can start telling stuff like that. And then the gimmick, big spoiler.
Wait a minute.
Big spoiler for episode like 3 or 4.
Ah, yeah, sure.
The gimmick that Joe uses to win some recognition is that he fights without gear. Actually, you already spoiled that.
Yeah, no, that was my mistake.
Sorry, we apologize. We're gonna keep this one in. I'm sorry if you got spoiled. It's only a spoiler for episode 3 or 4. Again, we apologize. We'll try to not have it happen again. But you can tell that the idea why this woman is so scared of him, and also why this is such a big deal, is because if he wins, it proves like...
It destroys her concept. It
exactly
absolutely obliterates the idea she had.
And they never tell you any of this.
So good.
You just figure it out. That's how well written it is. Which takes me to the other show that never tells you anything and just makes you figure it out, and is fantastically written, that I love about this season. Darling in France.
Sorry.
Damn you, Michael.
I can't help myself. Dying in the France.
Darling in France. Yeah.
What a show, man. Honestly, we're being thrown so many curveballs left, right, and center. It's
at the beginning of the... I've been talking so much, I need to let you talk more. At the beginning of the season, they pull a lot of Evangelion references.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people were pissed because, this is just a copy of Evangelion. No, be 5% smarter, and you will realize that they are doing it on purpose because they know you will see that that's an Evangelion references. They are basically telling you, hey, look, remember Evangelion? So that they'll pull the rug from under you.
Yeah, that's it. If an anime gave away all the answers, it'd be such a boring adventure, you know? Dying in the France, it's, as you say, it's similar to Evangelion in the sense that on the surface, it looks like a mecha anime and they fight these huge monsters and whatnot. But
it's not.
Go a bit deeper, and there's so much else. There's so much going on.
It turns out that it's actually about an anime about teenager sexuality.
Yeah.
older generations trying to control younger generations, human nature a little bit too, like a lot of very interesting, important
it's the
topics.
Rebellion of youth, as I see it. I think it's exceptionally well written.
That's there too, yeah.
And like, it's a trigger anime, man. Like,
yeah, they knock it out of the park every time.
They always do. The animation in it is spotless.
Little Witch Academia. I'm going to try not to spoil anything, but the ending of Little Witch Academia and the metaphor for like this idea of growing up but keeping that childish illusion, but at the same time not growing up with one and not the other because that way won't ever work.
Yeah.
Like,
it's such a mature.
It's giving me the chills.
It's so good, man. Little Witch Academia was a breath of fresh air.
It's so good.
But back with Dying in the France, like I've noticed. I'm not going to go into spoiler territory.
You're really moving that glass everywhere, aren't you?
Yeah, I just love the smell, man. It's so good. It's here to get a whiff from back there.
You were saying about Darling in the Franxx.
So without getting into spoiler territory, it's copped so much backlash in terms of the characters in it, simply because of like the sort of actions they take in, as well as the motivations here and there. But like, what made me exceptionally mad, and again, I'm not going to say what happens, but you understand because you're up to date, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I made a point of staying up to date with Darling in the Franxx because I love it. Well, because I love them, but also because I want to be up to date for the podcast with Darling in the Franxx and Megalobox. And to be fair, when people listen to this, it's going to be like 2 or 3 episodes farther ahead.
Yeah, so we shouldn't really. But anyway, the whole Ichigo thing, the fact that she did what she did in that big episode, so much backlash. And here's what I don't understand, right? Now, yes.
Hold on. The more recent one, like 2 or 3 episodes ago, or much earlier?
I'd say it was pretty recent. It was...
The one where she did the thing that is not very good for the group, or for the main character?
Yeah, she did that.
Yeah.
Very, very quick action.
But the thing is, how can you hate that? Because I get it. The idea is that you get mad at it, but it makes sense that she did it. That's the point. There's a difference between something that is meant for you to feel bad about it, and something that doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Like in her defense, I've been watching this YouTuber who actually helped me out a lot. So if you guys can, please take a look at him. Phenom Sage. He's an anime reviewer and manga reviewer. He helped me with my regular SpongeBob video. He got it out there. I think it got me the push I needed. But he made a video in regards to the mindset of Ichigo and why, in her defense, what she did wasn't wrong. And I totally agree. Why? Number one, that people need to remember, though we can see everything, though we're like omniscient, we don't control anything.
Yeah, and we also come from a very different culture.
Yeah.
We know their culture and our own. These are children that don't know what sex is.
Exactly.
These are children that only know what kissing is because they were told by Zetsu, and they kind of instinctively know what kissing is and what it means and what liking someone is. And I think, not to cut you off or anything, but I think that's also part of the beauty of the anime. Like, the way they start figuring out both their primal impulses and their actual emotions.
Yeah, that's it.
You were saying?
Because, I mean, at the start, they all kind of just follow Papa's orders, that's their own one desire.
And the way they start, like, realizing their actual nature of Papa and their relationship with him, like, that is such a great growing up thing.
Yeah, that was exceptional when they started questioning the reality. They thought that was...
Zorome, is it? The guy that is actually super devout at the beginning and then starts seeing...
Zorome.
It's basically the guy that pilots the mecha with the claws.
Yeah. But as I was saying, with referral to the whole omniscient thing and being outside of the anime, in Ichigo's defense, it's not like she can see everything that we saw. Okay, she had no idea of Zero-Two and Hero's history. No idea. Yep. She didn't know the sort of relationship they had. Her perception of it is what she can see.
She's simply trying to realize her emotions.
Yeah.
She's trying to... And who can blame her?
Yeah, I mean...
If you're a kid and you don't know the difference between love and infatuation, and you think, or maybe not think, know that you're in love with someone that is your childhood friend too.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of whether it's actual love or infatuation, that doesn't matter in this particular scenario, because you're a teenager, you don't know the difference. you're gonna do what you can to actually get with that person, or at least what your impulses tell you to do.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's it's easier for us to say, no, if you lose someone, you should let them go and stuff. But that's too idyllic. That's not real life, and that's especially not real life for teenagers.
Absolutely. It's a very troublesome year. There's a whole story on that, but let's not. There's also been something that's appeared that I've thought is really good. Do give me a second. I'm going to look up the name real quick because it's really hard to remember.
Whom?
The name of an anime that I'm trying to...
Do you want to describe it for the viewers?
Oh, I'll explain everything in just a sec. Hold on.
Well, but maybe that way I can help you with the title, that's all.
Oh, okay. This new anime came out, and it is a breath of fresh air in the sense that it's funny, its timing is excellent, and it consists of a character very similar to Mob from Mob Psycho 100. I just absolutely adore the overall, I guess, sense of it, the tone of it. It's excellent. That anime. Yeah,
the thing is, this season has so much good stuff. Like, I have a million things I want to say about Darling in the Franxx, but I think we said enough.
Oh, yeah.
I think this season has so much great stuff. Like, we have the new season of My Hero Academia. We have the ones that we mentioned. We have the new show for the Galactic Heroes.
Ah, yeah.
For people who are not super familiar with it, it's basically
a space time to catch up.
It's basically a space opera, which is something that I've been wanting. Like, I love space operas. I've been wanting one for quite a while now. I think there's also a new record. No. Is there a new record
of Grancrest?
The record of Grancrest War? Is that this season?
I believe so.
Well, don't quote me on this because I haven't double-checked my facts. But I think that is a new quote-unquote iteration in a franchise called... Well, a franchise I called Record of Lodoss War.
Okay.
Which is the name of the first season. Which is... And this is amazing. This is amazing. So you know how you and I and probably a lot of the viewers play D&D?
Oh, yeah.
Someone playing a similar game, I don't think it was D&D, but it was a tabletop role-playing game, in Japan, many years ago, I want to say 30 years ago, so it's like early days of D&D. They took their campaigns and through the process, they got turned into the Record of Lodoss War.
Yep.
So every like different quote unquote season, it's more than seasons because there's like wars that take more than one season. But the point is that every Record of X War, is a role playing campaign turned anime.
Oh, okay, no, that is pretty cool. That actually sounds mental.
And I should say, by the way, that as a story, as an anime, it's actually pretty freaking good. I haven't watched Grancrest, but Lodoss War is amazingly good. If you like medieval fantasy anime, you should watch it.
No, I mean, I've always wanted to cater to more fantasy-related stuff, so I might take a look. In regards to this season of anime, one thing that's caught my eye.
Did you find the one you were looking for?
Oh, yeah. Hinamatsuri. Freaking...
I can't believe this.
I can't
believe it. I was actually holding it because I was gonna like give it a special shout out because I think it totally deserves it. I don't think it's getting the attention it deserves.
It's so good.
But it's so good.
Everything.
It's remember like astute viewers will remember that last time, I don't know, no, sorry, I don't think I said in the podcast, apologies, but I think I told you that I have this thing where I know when something is funny and I may laugh in the inside, which now I realize it's not so much that I laugh, it's just that I understand it's funny, it's not funny for me, but I enjoy it anyways.
But this was the sort of anime that made you genuinely laugh out loud?
I burst at the seams on every episode.
It's so good.
It's insanely funny, and it also has so much heart.
Yeah, man. That's one.
I cry. The show is divided into every episode is divided into two halves, mostly unrelated. So it's basically really 10-15 minutes episodes and grouped in pairs.
Yeah.
It's like for every half episode, 3 of them I laugh, 1 of them I cry.
Yeah. It's very like the reason why I found it so freaking good is it's gonna get a little bit personal. Just quickly. The idea of family to me, in an older sense, when I become a father and have children of my own, I think it's exceptional solely because I think it'll be a lot of fun and it'll be just a beautiful sort of experience, right? Because we'll go through so many roller coasters, but it'll all pay off in the end, right? Anime like Usagi Drop, which was about a father figure.
Yeah, I have a friend who is like crazy for Usagi Drop.
Really good. It's got much like Hinamatsuri, so much heart in the sense that every episode you'll either be laughing or you'll be crying, and this show is doing just that. Hinamatsuri is doing just that because you have, first things first, the character idea is great.
And the writing's so amazing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the idea though of having like a mob boss as a father figure who...
We should probably explain what the anime is about. So
yeah, actually, that's a good point.
Hinamatsuri is about this guy from the mafia, this Yakuza, that's the word I was looking for, who one day, while just being in his house, this girl, 13 years old, I think she is, shows up in her apartment and has psychic powers. So she basically forces him to become her guardian. That's it.
Yeah. From then on, it's just, you don't know what to expect. Like, it's just...
So it's basically a mobster learning to be a father of a psychic kid that has no common sense.
And it's just so breathtakingly nice. And yeah, this is a weird thing to point out also, but the creators have really stepped up their game solely because the animation is not only beautiful and spotless, it's by the same dudes who made Kiss X Sis. You can tell that they've really they've reached a peak where they're no longer the company's no longer a meme. This is real. Like
they've upped their game.
Hinamatsuri is, I believe, to be probably the funniest show of the season, and maybe even funniest of the year.
Yeah, no, like here's the thing. I think any other season, and maybe even this season, that's how good it is.
Oh yeah,
it would be anime of the year material.
I really can't.
It's definitely the comedy of the year.
I really can't stress how much I wish people.
And we're in the first half of the year, which actually probably means that it's gonna get forgotten. Unfortunately,
it's a shame because it's so good, man.
But I kid you not, this is a season where we have My Hero Academia, we have Tokyo Ghoul, we have Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Yeah, we
have Darling in the Franxx.
And Lupin's new installment.
We have New Lupin. And also this year, we have the new... I have on the tip of my tongue, come on, help me.
Devilman Crybaby?
Well, technically it is.
It's that's true.
But I meant, that comes to... Actually, that's the one that actually makes me feel no, Hinamatsuri has no chance. But...
That's really good.
We also have the new Attack on Titan season.
That's true, yeah. And One Punch Man as well.
And One Punch Man, I still think that Hinamatsuri is anime of the year material. It's just that there's so much stuff there.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's different. Even with all that stuff, I think it's definitely top 5.
Oh, easily.
Of the year.
Yeah. I still think for me, in my eyes...
and Sakura. I shouldn't forget Sakura.
Oh, fair enough. I really probably should start that. I know.
I understand if you don't, because you should really watch the first one, and it's like
I've been told
70-something episodes.
Yeah. But in regards to the best anime of this year, just real quickly, still have to give mad props to Violet Evergarden. It's still my number one.
Okay. Sorry, it's not gonna happen because they're both part of the... Wait, didn't Violet Evergarden start last year?
No, it started this year.
No, it started last year.
Yeah,
it started last year because I was watching it when I was in Argentina.
Yeah, right. It was airing the same time as Devilman Crybaby, which is why I know it.
I wonder if that makes it not count for anime of the year.
Why is that?
Because it started... I don't know if they start counting when the anime starts or when it ends.
Well, I mean...
because the end... Violet Evergarden went from the end of last year to the beginning of this year.
No, I thought Violet Evergarden started early this year.
Oh, you may be right, actually, because I came back on February.
Yeah, I think so. Because it was the same time as Devilman.
Sorry, I apologize. You're right.
No, you're right.
I don't think it's going to happen because they're both very early in the year.
Yeah.
But I think that Violet Evergarden and Devilman Crybaby, and Devilman Crybaby may be able to get there, should definitely be one of the two should be anime of the year. Like,
Yes.
the top anime of the year.
Mega
One of the
agree.
two has to.
Mega agree.
Like, come on.
Oh man,
Tough competition though, I must admit.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine with either. But also something that's really interesting that I thought, like, I'm honestly surprised. I'm enjoying it. SAO's alternative Gun Gale Online series.
I've heard that. I've heard it's really good because it's not related to the creator of SAO.
It's just, it's different in the sense that Sword Art Online is, as we know, exceptionally edgy series. Well, it aims to be, but it falls flat.
It tries to be edgelordy and fantasy fulfilling, and it ends up being like,
it's not bad, but it's not good.
It's the Transformers Michael Bay movie of the anime world. Let's face it.
But alternative Gun Gale Online is really good because it does everything that SAO doesn't do. Like, it doesn't try to...
It's like someone took the premise and actually was good at writing.
Yes, that is the best way to put it.
Interesting.
Because it doesn't focus on, like, exceptionally well animated fight scenes and, like, you know, OP characters and whatnot. It's about a girl who has a height problem, like she's really tall in real life, and uses VR to create a small character so she can, you know, fantasize about that, right? That's cool. That's a different sort of take on a personality, right?
That's really interesting, actually. I may watch it.
Yeah, it's really good. It really is. The character's also really lovable, but it's action, but comedy, and it is relatively funny. Not Hinamatsuri funny, but it is good. I thought it was good.
I don't expect everything to be Hinamatsuri. Though, I gotta say, with the quality of anime we've been getting this year, last year, and maybe the previous year too, I think I'm gonna have to start expecting that. I think you're gonna have to start expecting everything to be My Hero Academia.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, it's popping off, man. It's such a good series.
It's such a good time to be an anime fan.
Yeah.
Like, and it pisses me off. It doesn't piss me off. It makes me sad because anime still gets that bad rap. Like, when people that don't watch anime think of anime, they think of all the cliches. And
DxD.
Yeah, they basically think, hold on, DxD has some things going for it.
It's good, but I'm just saying.
I think, like, this, if SAO is the Michael Bay movie, DxD is the popcorn movie.
Yeah,
I think that's the deal.
Sure, that's a good way to put it.
But the thing is that makes me so sad that people that don't watch anime see anime still as like a box of tropes.
Yeah,
they still think if you watch one anime you've seen them all. When in reality, it's the same as any other media except that it's animated. Yeah, and there's like value in the animation.
It's literally just a story being told in Japanese tradition. Like, I don't really understand why people are so off put by it. I mean, I'm not going to charge. Like, I think to each their own, but
I think it's just generational stuff. In the same way that back in my day, when I was in high school, really, watching anime was the Chinese cartoons that make you a nerd, and then it became super popular, and then it became just more blobs everywhere. It's just, I think, like, it's a matter of time.
Yeah, maybe.
Which gives me hope, but maybe I'm just being optimistic.
Stereotypes are just a really hard thing to change in general. Yeah. Like, you can't really get rid of a stereotype. You can modify it, but there's no real way to obliterate it.
You can, but it takes time. It's like a slow process because it's the way that mass mindsets change and evolve slowly. I want to finish the episode by listing other things we are watching that may not be highlights, but
yeah, for sure.
Maybe someone is interested and want to know a little bit more about.
Yeah.
So what else are you watching?
Okay, well, My Hero Academia, obviously. We're pretty up to date with that. Tokyo Ghoul RE. Newest episode was interesting. I do think it was a bit shameless of the creators to shove in a song that was used in the first season.
You should totally see Mike's face right now. He has this film critic face he's making.
Here's the thing, okay? When you put a song in an anime, you remember that song based on that scene in an anime, right? Like I'll keep it quick and easy. The song Unravel, the first opening in Tokyo Ghoul, when it plays in the first season, it plays in an exceptionally well animated, well written fight. That's really hard. It was one of my favorite fight scenes of all time. Then they just thought, you know what? For the sake of nostalgia, let's shove us in this episode over a fight that is poorly animated, shocking dialogue.
I don't think nostalgia is the right word, but I get what you mean. It's kind of the same way that when games go, oh, Call of Duty works, let's make every game a shooter.
Yeah,
no, that's not how people work.
I mean, in this case, though, felt like blatant nostalgia solely because the lyrics that come alongside...
They're trading fan service. They're trying to sell through fan service.
Yeah, that's it. It's just... It didn't correlate with me. But it's... RE is good. I don't hate it. I think it's fine.
It's just a small pick, a small nitpick.
Yeah, the small things. Food Wars. I'm watching that.
Of course you're watching Food Wars.
So good, man.
You always watch Food Wars.
Train Arc, man. So good. DxD's Hero I started, but I'm very tempted to drop because I know it's sticking to its original roots, the way the original story was going, but sometimes original isn't good. Like, it's a play onto, like, basically last season doesn't exist. They want to say, we want to scratch the story and talk about the newest, like the original story, right?
Yeah, something similar to what I did with Blue Exorcist.
Yeah, but the original story sucks. I'm just flat out saying it. Like, if you're gonna, again, not spoiling anything, but if you're gonna kill off a character, don't play it off like it's a gimmick. Like, that's a character that matters. And you're gonna solve problems regarding death with boobs. Like, are you serious? I literally mean boobs. He gets over the death of his friend over a song about boobs, Martin. DxD is not doing it for me.
Considering I've never watched DxD, this sounds weirdly both in topic and also wrong.
It's silly. I'm watching Pretty Derby. I don't know the full name for it. It's like a horse girl anime. It's weird, but it's
I've seen
good.
I think I've seen not like episodes, but I think I've seen it around basically.
It's weird, but it's good. Like, it's
really.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Like, I'm only watching it now because I'm like 6 episodes in, so I'm good.
It's basically this season Kemono Mimi.
Yeah. I was watching Persona 5 the animation, but I just realized I dropped that because the animation in the anime is way worse than the game, and the game had flawless animation.
I've heard Jeff from Mother Spaceman say the same.
Shocking. I'm very disappointed.
And he made a very extensive explanation as to why you should never watch the anime if you can just play the game.
Yeah, no, and the game is gorgeous. I've watched people play the game. I thought it was amazing, and I thought an anime would be pretty good too. But
I'll be honest with you, it's one of those games that I'm sort of waiting to get into it. Waiting for like the perfect storm when I have the money, the time, the RPG impulse. And I don't think it's too far off. I think as soon as the semester is over, I may get there.
Hey, maybe in E3 they'll be like, by the way, Persona 5 for the Switch. Then I'll be on that, that's for sure.
Crap, thank you. Now I'm not gonna buy... I know I'm never gonna buy that game because I'm always gonna be waiting for the Switch version.
I'm so sorry. And I guess the last thing I'm watching is a very, very, very unpopular anime. Crossing Line. It's a 3-minute shorts. It's a little funny anime. It's good. It's weird, but it's good. Like,
is it Inferno Cop good?
No.
Okay.
Nowhere near. Inferno Cop's a masterpiece.
Well,
when aliens finally arrive, I want them to see Inferno Cop above everything else.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is that all you're watching?
I would say that's it, yeah.
My list is a little bit slower, and I'm gonna cheat because I have my Crunchyroll queue right here. I have this thing where if a show is not on Crunchyroll or Prime, because those are the subscription services that I happen to have,
naturally,
I just wait until it's finished and then watch it. So right now I'm watching Sakura because, and I've told you this, but I haven't spoken about it in the podcast. Sakura holds a special place in my heart because it came out in my country when I was 11, and I think I remember Sakura being the same age, so I felt very identified and I loved, and it was also like the anime I watched when I got home from school while while having like the Argentinian equivalent of the afternoon tea.
Mine was Bakugan Battle Brawlers.
I'll give you that. I'll totally give you that. But it's also like very sweet, and like it has this. It always has had this slice of life element to it, and also if you are familiar with the original show, now Shaoran comes back, and Sakura and Shaoran are actually like a couple now, and it's kind of fun watching them essentially be a couple a little bit. Like it's like a payoff.
Yeah,
that makes
for
sense, because
those who watch it.
the original story just ends with them becoming a couple, and that's it.
Aww.
Then I'm also watching My Hero Academia.
Naturally.
I just realized that the new episode is out right now. Like, it just came out while we were shooting.
Gonna watch that tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Darling in the Franxx, easily my highlight of the season. If it weren't for the fact that Hinamatsuri is so ignored, I would probably call Darling of the Franxx my main recommendation.
Yeah.
But instead I'm gonna say Hinamatsuri.
Yeah.
Hinamatsuri, of course. Like,
honestly,
it's insanely good.
So good.
Like, more people have to watch it.
I really can't stress enough. It's so nice.
Megalobox, obviously.
Boy. It's my boy.
Very good. I'm also watching Legend of the Galactic Heroes. And I also have an intention of watching Gegege no Kitaro, which is like this children's show about yokai, but it's a little bit gritty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing 2 episodes in half.
If this is a good sell on anyone, like, they start the first episode by ripping off on Logan Paul for the thing he did.
Literally in the first couple minutes. It's amazing.
Like, it's really self-aware. It's really good at that. I also have interest in watching the new Full Metal Panic. The problem is I would like to watch the original one because I've only watched Fumofu, and it's not available to me. And finally, I'm also watching this one called Wotakoi. So, Love is Hard for an Otaku.
Right. I know what you mean. I haven't seen it yet, though, but I've heard it's good.
Which is basically about... It's not that great. It's good.
Okay.
It's okay. It's basically this show about these two couples that work at the same place. About, like, the main character and the second main character becoming a couple and stuff like that. And it's trying to be a mature working people otaku love show, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's more a comedy than a romance, but it has some romance elements to it. But it's not as good as, say, for example, what was the one last season that I can't remember the name right now?
Can you describe it to me?
The one where the girl is like, she quits her job to become an...
the Recovery of an MMO Junkie.
Thank you, Recovery of an MMO Junkie. That one's like much better, which pisses me off because the creator is a piece of shit.
Absolutely.
But basically she's a racist and a sexist. And I think he's also a criminal.
I didn't know that, but...
I think he's going to prison or something like that. No, don't laugh. We're paying for his, like...
Yeah, but I just...
We're basically paying for his lawyer by watching the show.
I wasn't expecting that.
I'm not gonna get into that. I'm still gonna watch it, like, give the money to the production staff, and because a lot of people will watch it.
I just didn't know the dude was, like, a criminal. I knew he was sexist.
I think.
That.
And this show, Love is Hard for an Otaku, the reason it's not as good is because there's something about the animation that I can't quite put my finger on. Well, not the animation, the style, the art style. It's a little bit...
bland?
Yeah, not too much, but just enough that it makes you feel like it doesn't have its own style. Just a little bit. And also the writing can be clumsy sometimes. Not bad, just a little bit clumsy. Like there are some romantic moments that make me go, that could have been better. It feels like this person has never had a lover.
Yeah.
Doesn't ruin it for me at all. I still like the show quite a bit. It's just like people basically recommended it to me on the same level as Hinamatsuri. But no, like this
Good luck comparing anything to that.
This is by far the worst show that I'm watching this season.
Okay.
But I'm watching very amazing stuff. Like, I'm super happy with this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more, man.
Alright, I think that's going to be it for today.
I think it's time to wrap up. Thanks everyone again for pitching in. If you watch this far, we do genuinely appreciate it. It has been a lot of fun. It always is, usually. It's a good platform to just talk about whatever we want.
Not really kind of the premise.
Yeah, it's good. Honestly, I enjoy it. We covered a fair amount of stuff today. Talked about E3, a lot about Final Fantasy, that's for sure. Talks about, what makes, not only what makes a good game, but, what goes into a game, why delays sometimes happen, why they are unavoidable, but...
And then we close up with the season of anime, which is a highlight.
Oh, absolutely. We have so much content. It's insane.
Yep.
I'm excited to see what we have, especially with Megalobox. I'm so excited about Megalobox.
Mike, Before we leave, why don't you let people know where they can find you in case they're not watching this on YouTube?
Yeah, for sure. You can find me on both Twitch, Twitter, and on Snapchat under simply Mickle Pickle, spelled MICKELL, PICKELL. Links are on the description. And as for you, my buddy?
We should probably also know that if you're listening to this and not watching it on YouTube, Mike's channel on YouTube is youtube.com/TheMicklePickle. Everything else is just Mickle Pickle, but on YouTube is The Mickle Pickle.
MICKELL, PICKELL. Do not spell it correctly. You'll be reallocated to a small little Chinese lady who makes slime. I am not joking.
Wow.
I made a whole video on that. On my channel.
That's kind of funny. And you can find me on twitch.tv/saystuff. That is SEYSTUFF. At Twitter, also at saystuff. And essentially pretty much anywhere you can find me as saystuff. And we hope to see you next time. Hope you had fun.
Thank you for joining us. We do appreciate it. Take care, everybody.
See you next time.